Mahnur Javed. Yes, Mahnur Javed.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you respond at once?
So I have internet problem.
No, there is. It doesn't seem an internet problem at your side. Your voice is clear. You are audible. I don't think there is an internet problem. Okay, so do you think that this play meets with the aspects or the true representation of the Victorian age?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. You're fabulous. I know that yes is a fine answer, but I need the explanation as well. Say something. People are wasting my time and your time as well. Huma Akram.
Present, sir.
Okay, Huma, tell us something about the representation of the Victorian class in the Victorian society. Say something. Hmm. Okay, fine then. Nafe, are you available? Is this the matter with all the other students only? Like whenever I call your name or Nimras, then you people respond me at once. But whenever I call someone and ask someone, then they are just quiet and they don't speak anything and they have just internet issues and all the other things. Are they doing the same in the other classes as well? I think then I must opt that option as well. Why I'm taking this pain that I am just coming here and then I'm teaching you people the text. I think that is a more convenient way. Okay, then I think that if your response will remain the same, then definitely I'm not going to teach you people like this anymore. Then definitely I'll be recording 30 minutes or 40 minutes lecture, then I'll be sending you and do not then disturb me anymore about this. Like, not a single person is responding. Not a single person is responding. I just wanted today that you will be teaching and you will be just explaining the text. I was expecting this. But when I ask you about the thing that we have already studied and you are just, all of you are quiet and saying that even though you do not bother to respond me, then even if I'm calling your name, so you must unmute yourself and you may say, yes, sir. Even you can say sorry if you don't know the answer. But they are not bothering even to unmute themselves. Like, what should I get it from this? This is not the way that you don't even bother to respond me. Okay, then I'll be trying to record the lectures, and I'll be sending you only the link in the group. And then I would say that uh, that would be from my side. This is what I can do. I actually must be facing some problems regarding anything. If you are not interested, then definitely I will do the same. So if you people do not want to respond, it's okay, fine. That is the easiest way, I think. That
Excuse me, sir.
yes, but
Sir, we have started Act 2 in last lecture, in which the scene has shifted from Jack's country home to the manor house at Volton, and new characters has been introduced in that act. And in that act, Miss Prism discovered seated at the table, and Cecily was watering flowers. And we see that Cecily don't like German grammar, and then Cecily talks about her habit of keeping a diary. And then there is a conversation between Miss Prism and Dr. Chasuble. And we have ended at the dialogue of Miss Prism. Adria, my name is Letitia, doctor. And the question you are asking about Victorian society. So Oscar Wilde has made fun of, you can say, earnestness of Victorian society, because
it is fine. I'm not asking you to make I'm not asking you to do this. I know that only a few people responds in the classroom, but I'm asking about the other students. They also must participate. I'm not asking you to only, like, if there doesn't come any response from your class, and then one person will be explaining, okay, this and this is that. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm saying that everyone must respond. And if you don't understand the text, I don't see anything in it that is difficult for you people to understand. But on the other side, if you don't understand the text, I ask you all the time, especially at the end of the lecture, that if you need to ask anything, if you need to discuss anything, you can ask me again and again. But I didn't get any response at that. And you people say that all clear, sir. Everything is clear. So I'm asking that everyone must participate. If I ask them, I'm teaching the whole class, and I expect the same answer from the all the students as well. And if student one or two students are only advocating the whole class, then that is wrong. This is wrong.
yes, sir. Actually, my grandfather passed away last week. That's why I couldn't study.
I'm
I
not
was
asking about
busy.
you, Amber. I'm asking about everyone. I'm not saying that okay, it is your fault. You participated.
I
It is
know,
well.
sir.
It's fine. But I'm asking about the other student. They also must participate.
Yes, sir.
So it is not about your only one student. And my prayers and condolences are with your grandfather. Your grandfather died. Okay, so my prayers and condolences are with the departed soul. On the other side, that I am just sharing my screen. So just let me know that when my screen is completed.
Sorry,
Is
sir.
it visible? Sorry for.
The next class will not be the same.
Sorry for
Yes, sir, it is visible.
and who is this? Who is speaking? Now, we find that as an observation, he has doubts about the identity, the real identity of Mr. Jack. The second thing that brings him from town to countryside or in the place of at the place of Mr. Jack. That was character of the band. Sorry, Caesar, because Jack was talking about and
Yes, sir, your voice is not
and
clear.
it was very quick about because he wants to see and always wants to know the ways. These are the books that brought him from city life to the countryside. And when he visited, what he's we know that Cecily, she was sitting over here and beside her, and there was another character. What's in Miss Prism. In voice. Okay, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah, is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This was the only reason that I think it's been more than 2 weeks that I was in Lahore, and this is the only reason that I didn't come home because I know that there are some internet problem or some signal or network problem, and I just arrived yesterday, and the situation is again. Okay, then I think that it is not the issue now. Or if the problem persists the same, then you can tell me, then I will also be doing something else. Okay. By the way, is it fine now? Just for the time being. Hmm. Okay, so now we were talking about that how Algernon was inquisitive because he wants to search the real identity of Mr. Jag on the other side. It was Miss Sizzling that the charm of Miss Sizzling that brings him from the country life from town to city life to the countryside. Okay, so now when he was talking about Jack, the other side, There is one situation that we just missed. Yeah. Enter Merryman with a card on a salver, and Mr. Ernest Worthing has just driven over from the station. He has brought his luggage with him. So now, for the first time, because you know that Jack, he has been pretending in front of Miss Prism and Miss Sisley that I have a brother named Ernest in the city or in the town. So now that one character, the real character, in a sense, we can say, he has emerged in front of Miss Sisley because he was the Ernest, a brother Ernest, that he was pretending, Jack was pretending about. So now he is actual on the scene. Sisley takes the card and reads it. Mr. Ernest Worthing B4 the Albany W, Uncle Jack's brother. So now she is shocked to know about, because she was the one that she was complaining about, that I never met with him, we never saw him. So is he really exist or not? So she was also curious about to know the real identity of Jack's brother. So now he is in, you can say in the real sense, in front of Sisley. Uncle Jack's brother, did you tell him Mr. Worthing was in town? Merryman, yes, miss. He seemed very much disappointed. And I mentioned that you and Miss Prism were in the garden. He said he was anxious to speak to you privately for a moment. You know that his real intention was not to come and meet Jack. So that is another pretentious situation that he creates over there at the moment. Rather, he wants to meet with Sisley. It means that merriment. He says that he wanted to speak to you privately for a moment. Sisley asked Mr. Ernest Worthing to come here. I suppose you had better talk to the housekeeper about a room for him. So Sisley asks Merriment to, yeah.
Excuse
Is
me,
the
sir.
problem
Sir, your screen is not visible.
really? And why you are telling me this right now? Okay, what about my voice then? Is it fine?
Yes, sir, your voice is clear. Yes, sir.
Actually, I forgot to share the screen because you know that when network got lost, and after that I forgot to share the screen. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Okay, so it means that Sisley wants to, asks Merriment to arrange a room for Mr. Algernon. Merriment, yes, miss. Merryman goes off. Sisley, I have never met any really wicked person before. So you know that Jack has already made mind of Sisley and on the other side, Miss Prism, that Ernest, he is not fine. He is not fine. He had some problem. He has some disease. So she is thinking about the same man, the same Algernon, because she thinks that he is not fine. He is not fine. He is having some sort of disease. So that is the reason that she calls it wicked man. I feel rather frightened. I am also afraid he will look just like everyone else. So, like a common man, especially like a diseased person, or you can on the other side, you can also coin the meaning of as a common, not as someone you can say with a charming personality. So she thinks about him, Ernest, as the same as the other commoners. Okay, then enter Algernon, very gay and debonair. Algernon, raising his hat in a good manner, as you know that most of the people they do this in England and many of the other areas, just to show their formality of the character, humbleness of the character. You are my little cousin Sisley, I'm sure. Now he, you know that he is pretending now. Here he is pretending to be uncle of Mrs. Sisley, and on the other side, brother of Jack Ward. He's pretending. So you are my little cousin Sisley, I'm sure. You are under some strange mistake. I'm not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. So I am not little. You are mistaken. Even though I am tall more than my age, I am tall more than my myself. It means that she wants to say that I am mature enough. I'm not tiny, I'm not small, I am mature enough. So do not deal me like I am under 18 or under 16. I am a mature girl. Algernon is rather taken aback. So he feels that, okay, yeah, not only the women or the girls from the town can speak bluntly, rather the girls and the women from the countryside, they can also speak bluntly. So he was rather felt so that, okay, she's also. But I'm your cousin Cicely. You, I see from your card, are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest, my wicked cousin Ernest. As oh, I'm not really wicked at all, cousin Cicely. You must not think that I am wicked. Cicely, if you're not, then you have certainly been deceiving us all in a very inexcusable manner. Because you know that Jack was also saying the same. Jack was saying that he's not fine, he is sick, he is having a disease. So all these things. It means that you were deceiving us all in an inexcusable manner. I hope you have not been leading a double life. So double life here is, again, you can say a kind of irony. So in this situation, because they were exactly living a double life, pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time, that would be hypocrisy. And this is the second most important aspect of this age. Like, first is pretension, and second is hypocrisy. And these are the aspects of the people belonging to this age, especially the elite class. So they are, it seems that would be hypocrisy, and that would be, even though who are talking about hypocrisy? The characters, the main characters, I would say the people who belong to the class, they talk about the hypocrisy. LG looks at her in amazement. Oh, of course I have been rather reckless. Cicely, I'm glad to hear it, that you have been something at least. As in fact, now you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own small way. Yeah, I was not fine. If you are talking about my wickedness, I was reckless. I was not fine for quite a time. But now, Cicely, I don't think you should be so proud of that, though I am sure it must have been very pleasant. So one must not pretend, one must not show off on one's disease or one's wicked condition. Algie, it is my pleasanter being here with you. So, Cicely, I can't understand how you are here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back till Monday afternoon. He will not be available till Monday afternoon, and I'm shocked to know that why you are here. So I cannot understand that, because you know that Jack is on the other side. He is going in the town again and again to meet with you, and you are here. So now what Jack is doing over there? So now you know that Cicely, she is now having some doubts about. Algie, that is a great disappointment. I am obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I'm anxious to miss. So I cannot miss my business appointment, and I feel disappointed that I have to move back, but in the Monday morning. And when Jack will be coming, he will be coming at afternoon. Cicely, couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London? As you know, the appointment is in London. Cecily, well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life, but still, I think that you had better wait till Uncle Jack arrives. I know, I know he wants to speak to you about your immigrating. So why he wants, might be he will also be um interested in to know about your work or your job here, about your immigrating. LG, about my what, Cecily, you're immigrating. He has gone up to buy your outfit. LG, I certainly wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all. And Cecily, I don't think you will require neckties until Jack is sending you to Australia. And as Australia, I'd sooner die before go to Australia. Cecily, well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia. It means that you know that a truth cannot be forelived and a lie cannot be hidden. So you'd see that Cecily, she is talking about all the things because Jack, sorry, on the other side, Algernon doesn't know anything about that what Jack has talked about already with Cecily about himself. Now Cecily is actually talking about all the details that Jack has provided to Cecily about his imaginary brother Ernest. So now Ernest, he is pretending to be Ernest. He is not real Ernest. He is pretending to be Ernest, like in the sense of brother of Jack. And he said, Jack said that you will go to Australia because you have to decide that where you will stay. LG, oh well, the accounts I have received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. The world is good enough for me, cousin Cecily. So I would say that this world is enough for me, not the world, the Australia. Cecily, yes, but are you good enough for it? And I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me. This is the thing that he wants. Because he wants Cecily to reform Algernon himself in a sense. And you might make that your mission if you don't mind, cousin Cecily. So you can make your mission to reform me, to change my thinking, to change my perception about the life, even though to change my health also. So you can do that. Cecily, I'm afraid I have no time this afternoon. Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon? Cecily, it is rather quixotic of you, but I think that you should try. Quixotic, you might have aware with this word, Don Quixote, so that is the reason that we have used a word quixotic, because as you know that the age of Shakespeare, the writing of Shakespeare is most of the time called as the Shakespearean age, Chaucerian age, Spencerian poetry, Byronic hero by the name of Lord Byron. And so this is by the name of the play, sorry, not a play, it was a mock epic, the early stages you can say of the novel. And this is by the name Don Quixote, and I have already told you people about this in the sense of in the subject of history of English literature, and then we were talking about that what is the main genre of novel. So Don Quixote, you know that he was a character. He was a half-wit and half-mad character, and with his, I would say, most entertaining and charming character, he wants to change the world by having one sword, one having a helmet, and the armor of a knight. So he had another a horse, Rosinante, and he was on the journey to reform and to change the people around there. So this quixotic means that in the sense of ridiculous, because that character doesn't seem to be serious at all. Because whenever Don Quixote went at any place, so people were making fun of him because he was not serious enough. His outlook was not serious enough. Like sometimes if he wants to uh, like hit someone with the sword, so he then falls on the ground unconsciously. So we can say that it was a Don Quixote, it was a Quixotic of you. It means it is ridiculous to know about. But I think that you should try. Rather, it is not serious in the meanings of serious or in the meanings of ridiculous. But you must try yourself. You can try your luck. LG, I feel better already. And why he feels better already? That he thinks that because metaphoric language, because he has seen you. Cicely, you are looking a little worse. That is because I am hungry. I am hungry, that is the reason. Now you can say like it Cicely says that you are looking a little worse. It might be the reason that he is worried about or anxious about, that if Jack will know about that I have visited his home and I have met with Cicely, so might be he will be not fine with this thing. So he is anxious and worried about a little bit about that situation. So that is the reason he says so. But he clarifies that I'm hungry, I'm starved. That is the reason that I look worried. Cicely, how thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that when one is going to lead entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. So now I think that you are out of your disease now. You are just, I would say that getting healthy and better day by day. So I think that I should have remembered that you need meals, the proper meals in a week. And won't you come in, LG? Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite useless. I have a buttonhole first. Cicely. A Rochelle Neal picks up scissors. As you know, I would sooner have a pink rose, a buttonhole kind of where you sometimes keep a rose. As you know, I'd sooner have a pink rose. Cicely, why? Cuts a flower. As because you are like a pink rose, cousin Cicely. So now he is actually flattering from the very first, I would say, meeting with Cicely. He's starting flattering. Now on the other side, you know that in Victorian manners and etiquettes, there was one thing that he will be talking about later on in this play. That is that if you are praising the girl, if you are giving her compliments, so she will be the happiest woman of the world. And this is the reason that he will just keep on doing the same. And the same is the case with Jack as well. Jack was also saying, my darling, my beauty, and this and that. It means that they are just flattering the women around them. It doesn't mean that they are only doing this with only one. Algernon, you know the character of Algernon, he is having a mercurial nature. He might have said the same thing to many other girls as well. So this also belongs to the, you can say, a sense of foppery. On the other side, sense of voluptuousness that arouse the emotions of the people around you. So this is what we can say. And then LG, because you are like a pink rose, cousin Cicely. Cicely, I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me. So I am not acquainted. I am not accustomed to have such compliments or comments from anyone, even though Miss Prism never says such things to me. Because the real beauty, the real beauty of another beauty can be only recognized by the girls or by the female. So if she doesn't say anything like that, so you do not have anything to say like that, because I am living with my ward and she governess and she doesn't say anything about it about like that. As you know, then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady. She's a short-sighted old lady. Okay, now this is, I would say, the thing that whenever you create or make anyone's mind, that is the first, or I would say the initial step to attract that person towards you. That is the first and initial step. And how you can do that? Just to make that person value the next person. Like if now at the same moment, if Algernon will be talking about Jack, not in the terms of that uncle and niece, in the case of that if Jack is another person. So what will happen when he will just start talking about Jack, that Jack is one of the most responsible person I have ever met, and this and that. What will happen that there will be a space and room in the mind of Cicely automatically, because this is a human nature. Because whenever there is something good for any person, so that process gets started. Okay, so it means that he is actually he's saying that Miss Prism is a short-sighted. He cannot see the things that I can observe. Cicely puts the rose in his button. So it means now the process has been started. The first step has been taken. Okay, you are the prettiest girl I ever saw. So now I think that this is the second step. And he's going fast, very fast. Cicely, Miss Prism says that all good looks are a snare. So it is a trap. All the beauties are a trap. So might be, Miss Prism says that all good looks are a snare, are a trap. They are snare that every sensible man would like to be caught in. They are snare. Every sensible man would like to be caught in. Yes, this is the thing. You know that sometimes the beauty of the character, the personality, the persona of the characters, the charm of the character, the talking style of the character, the body language, the gestures. It means that there are many details that are enough to catch any person's attention. And that is actually the real trap. That is actually the real snare in which any sensible man can get caught in. So that is the reason that this is the case also with me, that I am just caught in that snare or in that trap of pure beauty. Oh, I don't think I would care to catch a sensible man. I shouldn't know what to talk to him about. So I don't have any feelings about any sensible man. I don't know that what to do with him. And they pass into the house. Miss Prism and Dr. Chisuble return. Okay, another thing that we can get from this, you know that Cicely, she is, even if she is not interested in one thing, but she is an introvert girl and she knows about many things around her. She is a profound reader too, if not the reader of German, but she knows about the other characters. And you know that the Victorian people, they were famous about not as a good writers, but they were also famous as a profound readers. And they were very, even though I would say that every type of people, they were entrusted to read something valuable that is coming from the pens of the writers and the poets. They were very, I would say, profound readers of that time. And you know that when you come across different characters, come across different things, if you come across different charming characters and different worst characters, so that makes your mind. That really makes your mind, because you are aware of not to be trapped by someone, not to be easily trapped by someone. Especially, it may it can happen. The same situation can happen when a person comes from a city, from a town, a well-known town, and whenever he comes to visit any countryside, so that person may think about that, okay, the girls belonging to the countryside area, they can easily fall in love with the people who come from the cities. And this is another reality that you can easily see in today's world. But on the other side, we feel that this is not the case now. This is not the same case with the female or with the girls of the countrysides, because you can see Sicily. She is an independent girl, and she doesn't seem easily to be moved with the flattering of Algernon. She doesn't seem easily moved to be. So this is, we can say that how she is actually responding to that. So Miss Prism, you are too much alone, dear Dr. So now on the other side, there is a second type of romance that is going on, and that romance is between Miss Prism and Chasuble. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand, a womanthrope never. So a misanthrope I can understand. So who is a misanthrope? A misanthrope is one who hates the human beings, and in this, the antonym of is the philanthrope. The philanthrope is one who likes the human beings. So you also see that what is the implication of misanthropist as a philanthropist. So because as we are going to study Jonathan Swift, so Swift was sometimes called as that he was a misanthropist because he was, by many people have been called that you are misjudging the people, misjudging the humanity. You are hating them. But on the other side, what he feels about this thing, he said that no, I am not a hater of the humanity. I am actually the lover of the humanity. You know, at that time, the people, they have faced such situations in their times, because everyone was calling, all the critics of the Victorian era, and most of, I would say that all the previous writers of the ages as well, they say that you people are the haters of the humanity, because you are criticizing the people, you are satirizing the people, you do not have something positive to say about them. And they, on the other sense, they say that we are not the haters of humanity. If we are talking about the animalistic characteristics of the people, then it means that they must be reformed, they must be changed. We are not the enemies of the humanity. And they say that we are, in the real sense, the lovers of the humanity. Because if there is no humanity in the people, so then we must bring that humanity or sense of humanity in the people. So this is what we are doing. On the other side, I know that Jonathan Swift, he has been mistaken by many people, that because in the Gulliver's Travel, there is one very famous quote. He says that I hate and detest that animal called man. I hate and detest that animal called man. It means, by this statement, you can say that he is the hater of the humanity, but he doesn't say that a man is disgust. He didn't say that a man is filth, but he said that I hate and detest that animal that animal called man. So who is that animal? A person who doesn't know anything, the person who doesn't have any sense about it. So he was, in the real sense, a philanthropist, the changer of the humanity, the reformer of the humanity, the lover of the humanity. He was not a misanthropist. Misanthropist, on the other side, is the one who doesn't like the humanity. Okay, so these are the new two terms that you may also familiar with. So a womenthrop, never. So on the other side, a womenthrop is one who loves the women. Chasuble with his scholars shudder. Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistics a phrase, the percept as well as the practice of the primitive church was strictly against matrimony. So he justifies himself that why he is not actually do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The percept as his perception is as well as the practice of the primitive church was distinctly against matrimony. So now he's justifying himself that I know I do not want this thing, because you know that in the older times in the primitive churches, the nuns especially, they do not get married. Like most of the time, even though in some of the churches till now there are some nuns and the clergy, they do not actually get married. They feel so that our bodies, I definitely would, everyone will definitely go against this view. They said that our bodies must be remained pure in every form. So they do not have any intercourse with anyone, they do not have any love feeling with anyone in other case. It means that they are feeling themselves that are the pure people and they must be. Dr. Chasuble is again justifying himself in the same sense. And you know that this is not only in one country or in one religion. This concept is again, you can say, in every country. I would say the cleansing of the characters of the mind, the cleansing of the wrongdoings. It is in every religion. In India, you can also see the people. What are they are doing actually? They are keeping the fasts of their lives. They do not eat for years and years. They only drink something, and that is all. Sometimes they are actually going on a pilgrim. The Hindus, they are doing these practices. They are rolling their bodies to the mountains, and they are reaching at the height after a journey of, I would say, years and years. So these are their practices to actually, sometimes they feel that the bathing in Ganga river will also purify themselves. And again, we as the Muslims, we also have some beliefs that if we are going to perform Umrah and Hajj, this will also purify ourselves. So you can say that these are the practices and the beliefs in every country. And on the other side, that Chasuble, he doesn't seem to be like he is also justifying himself. Miss Prism, sententiously, that is obviously the reason why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. So that was the reason that if you are just quoting that primitive church, that why the nuns and the priests, they were forced not to have a relationship with one another, and they were all the nuns and the priests, they were virgin rest of their lives. But that is the reason Miss Prism says, you know that in every religion there are some wrong practices, but those wrong practices, because they got some special societal treatment, sometimes some cultural treatment, sometimes some historical treatment, and they are added up into the beliefs of the religion with the passage of time. But after that, that becomes nothing. Because the real religious beliefs comes under the societal beliefs, the historical beliefs, and sometimes the cultural beliefs. And then we cannot find the real concept, the real belief of religion, because that is actually buried inside deeper and deeper into the social customs, into the cultural customs of a society. And this is the same reason I would say that in today's world this is happening the same. So it means that this is obviously the reason that why primitive church has not lasted. And there are many other things that we can say that they did not remain, even though in today's world, now, in our religion, in our society, in our culture, in everybody's culture and society, because we are going in a direction that we don't know where we are going. We are going in a pathless direction, I would say. And you do not seem to realize, dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. That's so absolutely. Because I just remember when I look at this line, I just remember Francis Bacon's, because might be I have already quoted it or not, because I only know the phrase of that essay. It was the marriage and single life. He was saying that the single people, they are like good people, they are good human, they are actually everything, but they are not the good subjects. They are not the good subjects. Because you know that the society, they are all the time discussing about the single people, that okay, they must be doing this, they must be doing that. So, like, they are discussing all the time the wrongdoings of the bachelor people. On the other side, if a person gets married, so he got a license that okay, I can do whatever bad I think, and then that person is not nominated because everyone thinks that a married person cannot do that. And that is the reason that you might have observed in many of the English movies, whenever someone tries to have another relationship with someone, so first of all, he just waved, that person waves towards his finger that I have a ring. It means the putting on a ring indicates that that person is already engaged, that person is already married, so that person cannot have anyone now. So it means that is a signal. On the other side, people can also understand that okay, if a person is actually having a ring on his finger, so that person is married and that person doesn't do anything wrong. But on the other side, there's a person, the people who don't have, especially the singles and the bachelors. What about them? So the people, they actually look at them with a negative sense, and they get caught most of the time because they think so that if they do not have something else, but they have the temptation as well, the lust as well. Oh, and this is the same situation you can take from this line, that dear doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. That man can become I would say, a toy. That man can become a symbol of temptation in the public. So man should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray. So this is I would say, a thing that the people must remain very conscious about themselves. Otherwise, this celibacy leads weaker vessels astray. Otherwise, the single people, they are very easy to astray or to mistrack from their paths, because they are the easy subject to victimize. They are easy subject to I would say, to astray from the right path. So that is the reason that you people are the victims. So you must be taking care of yourself. Chilbal, but is a man not equally attractive when married? Miss Prism, no married man is ever attractive except to his wife. Because single, they have the charm. And even though you know that the bachelor people, they take care of themselves whenever they are single and bachelors. But whenever they get married, they do not care about themselves. And now, like, you see that everyone around, they are taking care of their muscles, they're taking care of their bellies and stomach fat and everything. And you see, so that whenever someone gets married, okay, when someone what is it? Yeah, when someone gets married, what happens? That person is actually having a round, I would say that round shape belly and stomach. So that person doesn't seem any more attractive than the single or than the bachelor life. Because that person doesn't care. He says that no, I am done with this, and I am no more. Might be because people on the other side can think that okay, that person is already married, so that is not a victim anymore. So we must not go for that. But on the other side, the person who is single enough, so everyone looks after him, because that is, as I've already quoted the line of Francis Bacon, that bachelors or the unmarried people, they are the good subjects. They are not the good subjects. So that is the reason that all the time we can say that this happens with. So she says she believes that Miss Prism says that no married man is ever attractive except to his wife. And often I have been told, not even to her. So I have been often told, not even to her, Miss Prism, that depends on the intellectual sympathies of the women. Maturity can always be dependent on, and ripeness can be trusted. Young women are green, but on the other side, the the women who are actually also they spend their reasonable time period of their lives, and after that they are not the same. They are not the same attractive as the male, because might be male, they have actually one or half decade more that they can spend more attractively, but on the other side, they both of the genders are not the same in many terms. Intellectually, might be sometimes women persists or overwhelms over the men, but in the other sense, you know that you can also see that most of the women, they cannot make the longer things in terms of their health and in terms of other things as the male or the man do. So we can say that, but intellectuality, one character persists, like women persists in intellectuality. Okay, so we can say that Dr. Chasuble starts. I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruits, but where is Sicily? Perhaps she followed us to the schools. Enter Jack slowly from the back of the garden. He is dressed in the deepest mourning with crape, hatband, and black gloves. Miss Prism. Mr. Worthing! Then shows the book. Mr. Worthing, Miss Prism, this is indeed a surprise. We did not look for you till Monday afternoon. Now this can be a good thing or this can be a bad thing, because Algernon is at home already, and Jack, he is supposed to be here in this countryside house in morning afternoon, but now he just came into the scene. And Miss Prism, this is indeed a surprise. Jack shakes Miss Prism's hand in a tragic manner. I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chisholm, I hope you are well. Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity. Jack, my brother, Miss Prism, more shameful debts and extravagance. Chaz still leading his life of leisure, Jack, shaking his head. Dead. So now he is in a mourn already, and he doesn't look fine, Jack. And what he says that he is presently more shameful debts and extravagance, because Jack has already told Miss Prison and Cicely that he is an extravagant person. He is a profligate. He spends money extravagantly and all the other stuffs. Like he is being put into debts as well. And now he says, she asks that shameful debts and extravagance, and Chase is still leading his life of leisure, because the character of Ernest by Jack has been miscommunicated, And on the other side, Jack has been a responsible character, a serious character that he has all the time presented himself. So now he will see that what happened. Dad, says, your brother Ernest dead? Jack, quite dead. And this is again, you can say, an irony because brother is already dead, and on the other side, one man, Ernest, whom he is already calling his brother, he is at home. So what will happen that he is now calling it that he's dead? Jack quite dead. Miss Prism, what a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it. I think this is the planning that Jack and Ernest were doing in the country house. Sorry, in the town. That Jack was saying that I'll be getting rid of my brother sooner and shortly. Because that was the only reason that Jack was actually going in the city and the town again and again. And on the other side, Ernest, Mr. Ernest, as you know, Ernest, he was also doing the same. And he was also burying the character, and he also wanted to get rid of his brother too. So that then we can say that now Jack has already confessed that his brother is dead, quite dead. And Miss President, sorry, Jazz, Mr. Worthing, I offer you my sincere condolence. You have at least the consolation of knowing that you were always the most generous and forgiving of brothers. So you have all the time a generous feelings for your brother, but he was a little bit, I would say, careless being. But you were all the time a defender. You were all the time consoling him. You just offered your generosity to him, and that was like a real brother. Jack, poor Ernest, he had many faults, but it is a sad, sad blow. Chaz, very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end? Jack, no, he died abroad in Paris, in fact. I had a telegram last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel. Says, but was the cause of death mentioned, Jack? Is severe chill. So the same that they were actually talking about in the home. So it was a severe cold, it was a severe chill, it seems. Miss Prism, as a man sows, so shall he reap. So she thinks that okay, this was the reason that that he has been doing rest in his life, and now he receives his reward. He received his reward at the end because you know that he has been presented by Jack as one of the most, I would say, a miscreant brother or miscreant character who doesn't care about anybody, who doesn't care about the family, and he is extravagant and profligate in many things, and he is into the debts of the people, and he is a drinker, and he is a womanizer. So these are the negative, I think, qualities that he has already told about his brother, Jack has already told about his brother to Miss Prism, Dr. Chusibel, and Caesar. And on the other side, he has presented himself as one of the most serious and uh, caretakers of his brother who has just died. And raising his hand, charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. I myself am peculiarly uh, susceptible to draughts. Will the interment take place here? Jack, no. He seemed to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris. So there will be no funeral procession here because he just wished so, and he desired that he must be buried in Paris, not here. Paris. In Paris, shakes his head, I fear. That hardly points to any very serious state of mind at the last. You would no doubt wish me to make some slight allusions to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. Jack presses his hand con- convulsively. My sermon on the meaning of the manna in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any occasion, joyful or, as in the present case, distress. So he talks about his sermon, that my sermon is uh, going to be for everyone, and you can come and join on Sunday, on the next Sunday. So we can also talk about, and we can also share our condolences and prayer for your dead brother. All right, and then they all sigh, and I think this is enough for today. Yeah. Any questions? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay then, fine. So it was another piece of text that we've studied today, and I hope so, and wish so, and expect so that you will be telling me something, like not only the overview, not only the summary of the text in the next class, but I wish so that you will be telling me something more about it. As simply, like, I have no magic to explain the things. You can also simply do that. There is no abracadabra that you are all the time thinking that this will cost you something. No, this is, you just need to be, have an open mind and open approach towards the things. You can simply explain the things, and you can associate and connect the other things with it. And you have to do this. Sometimes we feel when we are reading, sometimes you feel that okay, there is nothing to explain, and you do not find any reasonable meanings and reasonable explanations into it. And when I do the same, then I definitely explain the things, and then I bring all the other information and references related to with that thing as well. So you also have to do the same, because I can ask anyone in the next class to read the text the same way I do. I try actually. So this is the need that you must be. This is the thing that you must prepare yourselves in the next class. Okay, and if we are studying the text in the details, so you must cover every single aspect of the text from now on, because you know that we have a long way to go. There are many other texts that we will be studying, and if you are just, I would say that reading the text like this, and you are explaining the text, and then you are understanding the text, you can make some notes, you can develop your understanding, but you can also organize a separate class without me, in which you can all share your understandings of the text with one another. You can also do that. In a week, you can arrange one class at any time on Sunday, 12 to 1 or 1 to 2. It depends on you. And on the in that class, you can discuss by taking 15 to 20 minutes to each class. You can discuss all about the things that you don't understand. And someone, there will be someone in your class who can understand and who can tell about the things in detail. So you can take advantage of that person's understanding. And if one doesn't understand, so with one person's understanding, everyone can take the benefit. So this is how you must talk about the things, and you can collect the reasonable and I would say some substantial arguments from the text to explain the text. So this is all about the things that we have to do in the next class, and you have to do most importantly, because you are going to understand the text in your own ways, not in my ways all the time, in your own ways. So from this is all about. Thank you so much to attend today's lecture, today's class, and then have a good day. Take care. Allah Hafiz.